Sisyphus and the Eternal Boulder. Titian's monumental canvas brings the myth of Sisyphus into sharp, excruciating focus. The central figure is locked in a ceaseless contest with a massive, jagged boulder, his arms stretched upward, his back bowed under the relentless load. The enormity of the stone is emphasized by its overwhelming scale, dwarfing Sisyphus and dominating the composition. This is no mere feat of strength, but an endless cycle of punishment decreed by the gods for Sisyphus's defiance. Every inch of the painting radiates the inevitability of failure. There is no summit in view, only the perpetual slope and the sense that the rock's journey uphill is as endless as his suffering. Shadows coil around Sisyphus, isolating him within a pocket of darkness that seems to swallow hope itself. Titian's vision is not just a retelling of myth, but a meditation on futility, a confrontation with the bottomless well of human despair and the impossibility of escape from one's own sentence. Muscular anatomy and strain. Drawing the eye closer, Titian's breathtaking attention to anatomical detail amplifies the agony of Sisyphus's ordeal. Each muscle bulges and stretches, painted with a sculptor's precision. The sinews of Sisyphus's arms and legs are taut to the point of snapping, veins protruding as his body twists under the unyielding mass. These exaggerated anatomies do more than display the artist's technical mastery. They transform the myth into something viscerally human. Between the play of tendon and bone, the viewer feels the ache and exhaustion of eternal labor. Light glances across straining shoulders and the arch of the spine, while deep shadows accentuate the tension between force and fatigue. This careful rendering of flesh and bone makes Sisyphus's suffering palpable, inviting viewers to empathize not with the myth, but with the persistence of human effort in the face of hopeless odds. The composition balances strength and despair, freezing the relentless choreography of struggle in a single heart-rending instant. The jagged boulder's texture. The boulder itself is painted not as a simple stone, but as an entity unto itself, almost sentient in its menace. Jagged edges catch the light, while the rock's skin seems to ooze and drip, as though its substance is both mineral and organic. Titian's brushwork creates an unsettling sense of movement. The boulder appears to pulse with slow, inexorable pressure, as if it is alive with divine malice. The tactile quality of the rock is heightened by the suggestion of molten or tar-like flows, which cling to Sisyphus's hands and shoulders, merging burden and bearer. This is a weight that suffocates, a punishment that seeps into flesh and soul. In Titian's hands, the boulder becomes a symbol of retribution that is as psychological as it is physical, unyielding, monstrous, and omnipresent. Its surface dominates the upper half of the canvas, visually pressing down on Sisyphus, reinforcing the certainty that this weight will never be lifted. Chiaroscuro and emotional depth. Titian's mastery of chiaroscuro, his dramatic deployment of light and shadow, suffuses the scene with emotional gravity. Light rakes across Sisyphus's torso, illuminating sweat-slicked skin and the raw determination etched in his muscles. The brilliance is harsh, almost surgical, exposing every tremor of exertion and every crease of suffering. In stark contrast, the rest of the canvas recedes into velvety darkness. The boulder's underside, the ground, and the distant slopes are swallowed by shadow, creating a suffocating sense of enclosure. This interplay does not merely model the figure, it creates a psychological stage where hope and despair wage an unending battle. The shadows close in, visually trapping Sisyphus and intensifying the claustrophobia of endless labor. Here, chiaroscuro becomes more than a technical device. It is a metaphor for the existential conflict at the heart of the myth, a struggle between the flicker of perseverance and the abyss of futility. Sisyphus's expression of resignation. A close look at Sisyphus's face reveals the deepest wound inflicted by his sentence. Eyes downcast, brows knitted in fatigue and sorrow, his jaw clenched in grim determination. Every feature tells of a soul ravaged by unending defeat. There is no trace of rebellion or hope. Instead, Resignation settles over his features like a shroud. This moment of introspection exposes the psychological dimension of divine punishment. Sisyphus's spirit is as burdened as his body, weighed down by the knowledge that no exertion can ever bring release. The artist's attention to the subtle play of emotion transforms Sisyphus from a mythological villain into a universal symbol, a vessel for all who have faced insurmountable odds and found only the endless return of their struggles. The portrait's intimacy draws the viewer into silent communion with Sisyphus's pain, underscoring the human cost of divine retribution. The surreal landscape surrounding the struggle. The very ground beneath Sisyphus's feet seems unmoored from the laws of nature. Titian renders the landscape in molten reds and glowing embers, evoking a hellish realm where stone and earth are forever in flux. The terrain twists and undulates, echoing the shape of the boulder and mirroring the agony of the condemned. Fiery hues clash with the darkness, creating an atmosphere that is both mesmerizing and oppressive. This is not the world of mortals, but an otherworldly stage set for punishment and despair. The surreal environment closes in around Sisyphus, reinforcing the sense that there is no escape, no respite, no hope of change. The landscape becomes an extension of the myth itself, a visual metaphor for the inescapable, cyclical nature of his suffering. Every contour, every surge of color deepens the feeling of otherness and eternal recurrence, drawing the viewer further into the psychological labyrinth of the scene. Symbolism of eternal punishment. At the heart of Titian's composition lies the myth's enduring symbolism. The boulder as the very embodiment of eternal punishment and futile labor. The rock's overwhelming mass is more than a physical burden. It is a cipher for guilt, regret, and the sorrows that individuals bear through life. Its ceaseless return to the base of the hill speaks to the cycles of failure and disappointment that haunt the human condition. Titian's rendering universalizes Sisyphus's plight, suggesting that everyone in some way pushes their own boulder, struggling against forces that cannot be overcome, grappling with questions that have no answers. The endless ascent and inevitable fall become meditations on perseverance, resilience, and the tragic dignity of effort in the face of insurmountable odds. Through this powerful imagery, the painting invites viewers to contemplate their own experiences of struggle and the complex interplay of hope and despair that defines the human journey. The agonizing physics of failure. In the final analysis, Titian's painting is a study in the agonizing physics of failure. The composition freezes a moment of unbearable tension. Sisyphus's body is contorted, muscles trembling, every sinew engaged in a hopeless task. The angle of his limbs, the set of his shoulders, and the relentless pressure of the boulder all speak to the impossibility of victory. There is no release, no transformation, only the bleak certainty that the labor will begin anew. This visual narrative transcends its mythological origins, becoming a profound meditation on the nature of existence itself. The painting insists that struggle and defeat are not aberrations, but constants, deeply woven into the fabric of what it means to be human. Through this lens, the myth of Sisyphus achieves new resonance, echoing the endless cycles of effort and disappointment that shape every life. Titian's masterpiece does not offer consolation, but it does offer recognition, a mirror held up to the soul's most persistent battles. Closing reflection. Titian's Sisyphus stands as a monumental testament to the human capacity for endurance in the face of overwhelming odds. Through his virtuosic handling of anatomy, texture, and light, the artist transforms a classical myth into a timeless reflection on punishment, resilience, and existential despair. The painting's suffocating shadows, the agonizing strain of muscle and sinew, and the relentless mass of the boulder conspire to create a world where hope flickers and fades within the endless cycle of struggle. Yet within this darkness, Titian uncovers a paradoxical beauty, a testament to the dignity of effort and the tragic nobility of perseverance. Sisyphus's ordeal, as rendered on this vast canvas, lingers in the mind as both warning and inspiration. A reminder that the weight of sin and the specter of failure are inescapable, but so too is the indomitable will to endure. In this way, the painting's legacy endures, inviting each generation to grapple anew with the endless weight of its meaning.